chapter more for the 2024 Stone Burner Open for Dune Imperium Uprising. I'm your host and commentator, the BlackShadow, and we are in the midst of Group Finals week here, as our remaining players look to fight it out for spots in the quarter-final matches. Here's a look at Group O we're covering today. This is their final game, featuring Toll, GameSlayer, Coyote, and DaemonCleaner. Things are very tight here between all the top 5, truth be told here. Mine is top 2 that go through the quarterfinals, 3rd and 4th and 5th will make it to the wildcard playoffs, which is a round you don't want to go into if you can help it. It is literally just a straight, basically 4-way playoff, and only winners advance apart from 1 second place amongst 15 games or something. So a brutal round you want to avoid where possible. Now, while all of the top 5 are guaranteed to at least make the wild cards, 2 out of the 5 will make it to the quarters, and everyone is technically in play here, but it's going to be very, very close. Start with DaemonCleaner, who can mathematically make it. However, they would have to win. Coyote would have to come second. GameSlayer 3rd. Toll 4th, which would leave them all tied at 13 points. And Daemon would have to overcome a 12% average points difference, which is asking a lot, and I'm not sure it can be done mathematically, but it is technically on. So most of our focus is probably going to be between Toll, GameSlayer, and Coyote. Now, with Benito, he does currently stand at the top of the table with 14 points, but only the 1 win, which is very, very dicey and far from guaranteed to get through to a top 2 finish. If the previous result happens, they would guarantee a top of the table, but it's very unlikely, and that's only one specific result here. So they're largely hoping that Daemon does manage to produce a win here, make life a lot easier. Otherwise, he would need Toll to come at least 3rd, and GameSlayer to come at least 2nd in order to be able to look to try to hold on average points tiebreak. As it is wins first is the first tiebreaker, and then the average points. That'll leave them all tied on 14, and it would just come down to percentages. Coyote, meanwhile, probably just needs to win this game outright. Coming 2nd place and finishing on 13 is very unlikely to be enough, so they are probably in must-win territory. But if any of the 3 can win this match, they are guaranteed top of the table and just simply don't need to worry about any kind of awkward tiebreakers. But this could come down very fine at the end of this. Alright, so we get ourselves ready for the match here. It would appear that Coyote has got the first-person spot in the green seat, which means it will be Demon in red picking first. Okay, then. Let's have a look at the opening bits and pieces here. A couple of early contracts. The Harvest 4, Splash Running, obviously with water, very, very popular early game, very nice spot. It's somewhere that people tend not to want to go to. It's not the best value. Having that water makes a huge improvement. The Harvest 4 for 4 star looks pretty good, but again, getting that is really difficult, and generally requires someone early to try and like jam up, deliver supplies, that sort of thing. Or maybe get a little bit lucky with Near Alarm, Spice gain and something like that, but we'll see. Anyways. Oh boy. Oh boy, it's Guild Spy. Guild Spy is out there. So is Calculus of Power as well. Probably the 2 best cards here on the row. And both are going to be highly desired. So this could be a very spy-heavy game. A few from cards, though, as well. Thumper, Mauler Pistol, and Unswerving Loyalty are all kind of okay. And, you know, do allow a bit of bonding, but it's a little bit trickier. But Guild Spy is going to be the big go here. And is someone going to reveal early for it, and how early? We will see. Staban's not out there, though. But Margot is. We're missing Staban, and we're missing Fade. Wow, 2 of the big spy leaders are actually not out there, which is maybe a slight mercy. Although with Guild Spy, maybe it doesn't make the biggest difference, truthfully. So, could be a very battle-heavy one. Margot is obviously going to be very popular. Is anyone wanting to take Margot and just insta-reveal for Guild Spy? We'll have to see. So, this should be a most interesting game. This is going to be a very tense opening to things as well. There is going to be, Guild Spy is just staring people in the face, and there is going to be a lot of tension here in regards to who is going to blink first, and at what price are they willing to pay for Guild Spy. Is anyone willing to just insta-reveal for it? It's tough, though. I mean, if Fade Ralpha was out there, I would say probably. I'd even say for Staban, probably, but it's Margot Fenry, who can only obviously put her spies on cities, so is less value for Guild Spy, apart from literally taking it, sitting on espionage. But then your spy use is going to be going to factions, your rings are not going to be doing anything. So it's a tough one. So we just see a Gurney Halleck taken in 4th. Very, very popular Gurney. People generally taking him pretty early on in the drafting. Just very solid to use, fairly easy. People don't want him going further down the line here. And GameSlayer currently sits third in the group, 11 points behind Toll with 12. GameSlayer does not have to win this match. A second place would be okay as long as they get a better result than Toll, and Coyote doesn't win. But it's, again, we're getting into very, very fine margins in regards to tiebreaks. Even if Coyote does win, there would be just a straight tiebreak up 14 points. They might be able to overturn it anyways. This is how tight this group is. Like, if people just want to win, and if they win, they know they're fine, and they've done the best they can. Any result less than that, and it starts getting very, very murky. And it's probably a good thing. It means that people can't try necessarily to play for certain positions. Sometimes with group finals, you tend to find, like we've seen before in a previous game, where like the standings can definitely affect people's decision making. I don't think you'll see a ton of that. But people know that if they don't win, it could be very, very unclear what's going to the result is. We do see Margot from GameSlayer. I'm not surprised to see this. So that leaves the likes of Muad'Dib out there. Irulan and Shaddam are both out there. Is there a world maybe Toll just picked Shaddam, thinking there's a lot of fighters and spy dudes around? Just goes heavy on deliver supplies. Take a shipping route, play factions. Factions is awkward, though, because, again, Guild Spy is out there, and if people can get that going, like, you're not going to have as much of an uncontested advantage, so you're kind of... It's a bit awkward. And unless you're willing to, like, literally just go deliver supplies... I mean, you could go deliver supplies, reveal early Guild Spy, if you don't think green is going to reveal after one action. Again, this is the problem. Guild Spy is really, really missing with the decision-making here, making this really awkward for players already. Which is both good and bad here. Again, Toll with 12 points. If you can get any kind of top 2 finish, they are pretty much guaranteed to go through in the quarterfinal spots. Third or worse, and it starts getting difficult. So Toll doesn't have to win this. Second place would probably do. They are almost neck and neck with GameSlayer with average points as well. But if Game got third and Toll second, unless they finish up the same score, probably going to find themselves being overtaken on average points. It is that close. You've seen Muad'Dib taken. Also not a huge surprise. I think it was even Muad'Dib or like a Shaddam. So Coyote's got the choice of, Shaddam, Irulan maybe could give a spin with. Irulan's not the worst here. You have got Unswerving Loyalty if you want to pull into your garrison, go down a Fremen route. But you got to expect there's going to be a lot. All the combat dudes are all missing. So you got to expect that it's going to be a bit difficult to kind of manage with that. Unenviable spot. And again, Coyote pretty much has to win this match to have any chance of progressing here. That's pretty much the way this looks. Second place, finishing with 13. Very hard to get through average points. So pretty much is in a must-win spot to get through here. And it's a bit unenviable here, having to choose, not really knowing what's going out there with Guild Spy out in the row. In theory, you'd think you've probably got first crack at it, unless you think someone is willing to just insta-reveal for it. And I don't know. We've seen one person insta-reveal for Guild Spy in this competition. It was an earlier game that we covered. It does happen. And that was by Margot as well, it should be noted as well, who was in 4th seat, I believe it was, at the time. I think more often than not, you can imagine you get at least one action. I don't know. It's all very, very hard to know here. And goes for Emperor Shaddam. Okay, then. So here we go, kids. And, wow, some interesting early draws here. Opening conflict's going to be the Mouse Money Skirmish here. Margot is the one who pairs out in 3rd seat, along with, obviously, Shaddam here. Shaddam has pulled no faction access. They've got their ring, at least. Wow. Well, I tell you what, if there was ever a hand where Shaddam might consider just doing an action revealing, it could be this one here. Do you just go accept contract, space, take Spy Safari, and just reveal for Guild Spy? What do you do if you pull a faction card? Doesn't feel great. But you could also pull your recon, your other convincings out there. Double daggers is not great. This is a bad round to pull the double daggers. They'd rather have it on the next round where they can more realistically get involved in fighting here. So a bit of a tricky draw. Everyone else has got one faction card, but no ring. There's a lot of persuasion out there as well. Loads of convincings. But a tough opening spot here for green already. They've got to make a pretty immediate decision what they want to do. I think except contract, grabbing the Spice of Family Water is not bad. It's a spot that you kind of don't mind hitting. But you also want to get involved because there is money out there and you've got both daggers. Letting those go feels not great. And I don't think there's a ton you can do about this. You could go Arakeen and draw. Maybe Assembly Hall if you really want to. It's tough. Remember, of course, the ring has two functions. Either a Solari and a troop, or 3 Solari for a random bump. But you cannot deploy any units on the turn you're using your ring. I suspect that the speed of play here could be a little on the slower side. Again, this is it's a big match for everyone. All to play for in this, so I wouldn't be surprised to see this being a little more. We've had some quick games, we've had some slower games. I expect this to go a bit on the slower side, a bit more methodical. I mean, except contract is fine. I feel like Assembly Hall's also okay. I feel like one of those spots is probably the best here. Arakeen, only you really want to go there, I think, if you're that invested in either fighting here. I think either of those is fine. Does go Assembly Hall. I think I like that. Getting the intrigue early is good. Picks up Weird in Combat. It's a really nice one to get early as well. Those 3 swords are pretty good to have in the back pocket. So Muad'Dib's going to get to Fremkit. Margot's going to have the decision of whether to go Desert Tactics or not early. She's got both Dunes in her hand. No daggers. Not necessarily the best draw. I think Gurney Hallett might Desert Tactics if Margot doesn't. She's kind of got a bit of a decision point here. Might just go deliver supplies. No, he's going to go in here. So Gurney probably likely just going to deliver supplies and work from there. Margot's going to fight for this. So, Shaddam has the choice of revealing for Guild Spy here. And I think you've got to have made the decision before having your first move if you're going to do it or not. And I think they are going to. I think there's too much to fight for here. Yep, they are going to make the reveal. I think this is the right move. Get it out of there. Get it in your hands. Work it from there. Where you want to go for, I don't know. Do you just put it on espionage? Or do you put it on spacing for shipping access? Looks like they're going to ship. I mean, it's a nice spot for there, by the way. I do like getting the spy there. It is later game Highliner access, by the way. And I've done it before with Guild Spy. It's just use it for Highline access. And I've done that with the likes of Gurney Hallett before. Very, very strong. I think it's a good spot for it. But I think not necessarily the opening they wanted to make, but I don't think they had a lot of choice in the spot there. It's pretty ugly. So it peels off Corinth City, by the way. 6 cost and no one's... Oh, wow. Muad'Dib could actually get that. You'd have to go accept contract, though. Unless he's just going to reveal for it as well, and he is. Wow, look at this. Look at all the early revealing going on here. It was that kind of round it was going to be. Second unswerving out there now. Yep, it's just the hands people have drawn. No rings, no other faction access. So Margot's kind of got a free action here. She will be slightly worried that Gurney might occasionally come over the top with a ring, but I think it's pretty unlikely in this fight. He's more likely just to limp in and call it a day. So Margot could go Arakeen and draw. Except contract for Refinery looks a really good spot, truthfully, though. I think that's what I would probably do. Arakeen's also okay. Pulls a ring. That was the problem. There's a lot of cards you didn't want to see. Just going to Garrison. Also stops Gurney from just, like, bringing Arakeen and overtaking. So I get why you'd make that move. Gurney's got 5 persuasion. Does he limp in for some Solari, or does he reveal early for the like of Calculus? Rose, Calculus is a nice card. The rest of it's all kind of Fremen Bondy, though. It's a little tricky. Again, he's a bit hesitant to draw because faction access as well as his ring. He's a bit worried about finding either of those. Just a tricky opening round here for players, realistically. Marco can feel that they're probably going to win this. If Gurney was going to come with their ring, they probably would have already have done it by now. So it kind of depends what you want to prioritize. You could also just gather support. with your dagger and just have a huge garrison of the target later fights. You will be a little bit concerned about green, though, but green's lost both their daggers for now. Their intrigue, of course, could be anything, but you'd be a little worried that green could harass you next round. So you'd have to probably hit pretty hard with your ring and just put it all in and try and ward them away, but you know, it doesn't always work like that. I think accept contract's fine. I think the other spots, I don't know if they're worth it. Maybe you'd be better off just revealing. I think accept contract's probably okay. It's going to go for basin for the loose spice and just take the resources. This is okay. It's not the greatest feeling move, but you know, sometimes it's just what you got to do here. So Margot's going to get the win and get calculus, which is pretty big for her. Very handy. Ecological comes up. We got 5 Fremen cards out there now, and that might encourage Gurney to start buying some of this up here. Ecological for faction access, maybe on unswerving as well. Ecological's agent action's a little tricky. Having 2 over 2 draws is like kind of the research station of old a little bit. But it is expensive. The Fremen Born is really nice at getting that extra border. I think the faction access is just good though. Anything to take pressure off your diplomacy is good. Harvester comes up. Look at this row here. This is such an Irulan row, by the way. So, Margot wins the skirmish, and we get the match point early, which feels good. Only for free troops as well is a decent price. I think everyone will feel they've got a reasonable price. Tricky opening round. There's going to be faction access all over the place here now. Muad'Dib is going to have his ring, so Muad'Dib is going to be hitting Siege here almost every time, you'd imagine. We'll move on. Wow. This charm security. Huge combat. Massive combat for worms, but they're not going to get in quickly enough here. But it's one that Muad'Dib really would love to hit, but it's going to be difficult for him to do so. Probably just has to Fremkit Siege. I don't really see a lot else to do here. Problem is he's going to be first to reveal, and he's going to have a pretty solid persuasion hand. Muad'Dib's going to put it in anyways. He's going to charge a price. He's going to fight for this. I don't know if this is correct. I really don't know if this is correct or not. Margot, oh my god, look at Margot's hand. Double convincing, double dagger, seek allies. Wow. Wow, oh wow, oh wow. What a draw. Does Margot Fenring gather support to get the water to hit Desert Tactics? Does she think she's ever getting there? What an insane hand she has drawn here. No spies for espionage. Wow. What a draw. Just going to pick up the water here. Just going to block it off. Not let Gurney get to Deep Desert, but Margot will be pretty upset here. Of course, Gurney with Seek Allies and Signet Ring. It is a matching conflict for him, and it's a bump that he would kind of like to get hold of some shipping access. I could definitely see Gurney going heavy here. Desert Tactics, trash the dagger out of his discard, going with his ring. Could see him being very aggressive here. It matches, it's a bump. Contracts aren't the worst. He's going to get a troop back. I think Gurney's got all the reason in the world to get stuck in here at Tactics. He'll be a little worried about Shaddam, who has got both faction access cards. But if they're using it, it means they're not getting involved in the fight. Yeah, and that's what Red's looking at here. I think Gurney has to get stuck in. I think, given the fact that Margot couldn't get the Desert Tactics, I think you just got to do it. You can't get to deliver supplies. What else are you doing with Seek Allies here? And if you can have a Desert Tactics and trash it your discard, that helps. Arakeen first. I think Gurney Halleck is looking to go all in here. And he's maybe looking to try and seek allies somewhere else. Doesn't want a Desert Tactics, which is a bit of a surprise. I think it was actually a good time for it. Pause Ecological. Well, he's got 2 cards that go there now. But this is what I mentioned earlier, that Gurney feels he's got to do this to try and ward Shaddam away here. And tell Shaddam, stay out of this fight. Don't want to be involved in it. But with breeding conflicts, Desert Tactics is still sitting there. You're encouraging Shaddam to kind of poke his nose here. Really encouraging it. Other options could go Hager Basin to go espionage. That is an option. Is it ever like some secrets or dutiful here? Probably not immediately. I think you kind of want to go one or the other. Of course, could go deliver supplies themselves if they really want to, but I don't see a lot of point right now. Let your guild spy do the work there if needed. But this is gonna looks like it's gonna be in for the long haul here. I would get yourselves comfy. I know I am. We're gonna be here a while. And that's fine. There are no time limits in these matches. Or in any of the competitions that we these open tournaments we hold on hidden assets. I might have to do some editing. We do see Hager Basin, so it looks like prepping up some espionage here. Shaddam probably has to put in 2 troops. Especially a winning conflict there as well. Winning combat you kind of want to keep hold of here, so I'd expect to see 2 troops go in here. Second place, well worth it. Water, 2 Slari and a couple of troops. Mardeeb looks like he's threatening to put in more. Margot, it's hard to know what Margot's doing. It was a kind of a strange move to deliver supplies, so hard to know exactly what she's got planned. Might just limp. Interesting. Maybe they think they're going to get to Desert Tactics a lot here, but they have no water, so we'll see. Anyways, siege for Mardeeb, no surprise. The second troop's going in now because Shaddam didn't put it in. I'd expect we'll see the second troop in. Mardeeb's pulled all of his mining access though, so he might not get to hooks next round. It's all in his hand now. Not happy to see Dune Desert Planet, I don't think. Margot's just got to Assembly Hall here. Yeah, not much he could do about it. Pulls the Chris Knife match though, which is relevant. Means no one else is getting it. So Gurney has second crack at Desert Tactics. Doesn't need to worry about Shaddam getting there. They've got to assume that they're probably winning it, but it's a little hard to know what Shaddam's up to here. It's a little tricky. You'd be a little hesitant to go Desert Tactics and trash the dagger at your hands. Why, if you were going to Desert Tactics, you probably should do it straight away. Could also just go Secrets. Could go Espionage. Could go Espionage yourself. It kind of looks like Shaddam is possibly gearing up for that. And with Guild Spy about here, that is a little scary and probably deserves some respect and blocking that off. But the problem is if you go in Espionage, you are kind of encouraging Shaddam to look to get involved in the fight a bit more maybe, so there's pros and cons. Could also just go Spice Refinery and take the extra money. That way, in theory, if Green does decide to come all over the top of you and you somehow get second place, at least you've got the money for Swordmaster. Also protects your water as well. If you do have interest in going deliver supplies Deep Desert next round, because your Diplo is coming. So, see which way he goes about it. We'll also be conscious of the fact that Margot is probably just going to hit the thrower next round. So if Gurney goes Desert Tactics this round, they probably are going to have to go again to try and get hooks here. So yeah, you might just see... I think Espionage probably is a spot. There's a bit of chat going on here. Yeah, there's a bit of chat going on. They are not in a voice call, it should be noted. Just go Secrets. Wow. Well, that is actually an insane pull. Is there a world where Gurney Halleck unexpected allies this fight just to double these rewards? Probably not. But he'd feel that he'd be able to rush this alliance down. And unexpected allies is such a big card. Probably isn't going to get stuck in here. So Shaddam's just going to take third place by the looks of it. And Muad'Dib's going to be threatening Deep Desert if he can get access there. It's going to be pretty scary. Just takes us from refinery water. So Muad'Dib with 6 persuasion. But the row's pretty cheap. He might just take like an unswerving and go digging a little bit here for a bigger card. Possible. Thumper's not bad for him, truthfully, but obviously we're just getting worms in. We've seen a couple of people just take these double unswerving loyalties, which Muad'Dib could try, but you know, it's always risky. Could also pick up Smuggler's Harvester to kind of offset the hooks a little bit. I think both are okay. I don't hate Harvester specifically because of the fact you've got all your mining access in hand means that you kind of want to give yourself best chances to hit it next round. So I actually don't hate Smuggler's Harvester here. Gives you, what, 4 out of 8? Maybe 4 out of 9 cards that give you the access? I think it'd be okay. Goes for Thumper instead. And Coyote Operation, so is basically looking to Thumper Deep Desert here. Deep Desert, remember, Thumper doubles the bonus spice that's accrued, not the base spice. So, Margot with 5. Sardaukar Soldier's the next one out. It's not the worst card in the world. Just checks Mana Pistol. That peels off Desert Power. Which no one's going to be able to get right now. But it is going to be lingering in the row here. Gurney with 4. Might not buy anything. Maybe a prepare at most. You know, it's a funky row. Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty good row for a Princess Irulan, this. Not going to lie. It's pretty nice. I wouldn't hate Princess Irulan taking Irulan, by the way. Yeah, there was definitely reason to do it. But, you know, we're here now. So, yeah, just to prepare. Not surprised. And Shaddam also before might just do the same here. No one really wants to peel these one-costers because they're scared of peeling off big cards. That's what's going on here. There is a lot of concern about it. Don't want to give bigger cards that opposition, but someone's gonna do it in the end. So Gurney will just take it down. Doesn't feel the need to understand this, which I think is totally fine. So rewards will be as are. Maybe an intrigue for green. Pick up leverage. It's not the worst intrigue early game to get, I suppose. Might be of some use. Especially when the Spec and Spice Refinery contract comes off. Wow, that's actually pretty big. We'll move on. So, can Gurney Halleck somehow get to Deep Desert? Does Muad'Dib pull access to Deep Desert? No, they don't. And it's not walled either. Look at this. It's Shadow Contest. It's one that Muad'Dib absolutely wants to barrel in, but he didn't draw it. He didn't draw it. So, Gurney Halleck can beat him to this. And if Gurney Halleck noticed the fact that Muad'Dib had all his mining access on his board last round, he might. It's definitely a chance that Muad'Dib doesn't have it. And he could beat him there. Letting Muad'Dib get to Deep Desert with Thumper seems absolutely absurd as well. Hooks +4 or +6 spice on this conflict. Absolutely absurd. So, it's Margot first, though. Calculus and Diplomacy in hand. She's obviously looking at trashing options. Fight she'd like to get involved with, but it's going to be hard to win. When you know Shaddam is going to be going in on this, almost certainly, in some form or another. Muad'Dib, yeah, has... Muad'Dib, is there a world where Muad'Dib actually uses Current City? So Current City is an interesting card. It's got, the reveal is to take either 5 Solari or you pay 5 for your High Council seat. But the Agent Action is to pay 5 Solari and discard 2 cards for a point. Is there a world Muad'Dib does that, but early, and basically give up Swordmaster for the time being? Just to score the point, given his hand. It's got to be a consideration. But where's his money coming from other than that? That's a little harder to know. Margo just friend kits, no surprise. Obviously was wanting to fire the trash with their calculus, but not much they can do about it. Well, a pistol found. Let's go to encourage them getting stuck in here. So Gurney Halleck has the choice. He could go deliver supplies and just go for more and say, Wadi, do you have access? It's kind of hard to get involved in the fight. More water is always good when you've got unexpected allies. And Deep Desert's there. Muad'Dib, far from guaranteed. Kind of noticed as well, Muad'Dib kind of like hovering over his deck there. Maybe a bit of a tell that he's trying to work out what his odds are on draws. I don't know if Red's going to spot that, though, truthfully. But it's those little things sometimes. So, what other options does Gurney have for his Diplo? He could espionage and just get there ahead of Shaddam, who would like to get there, obviously, if possible. Shaddam possibly is going to probably have access to deliver supplies in some form, either via Diplo or his Guild Spy, which we've not seen yet. Feasible if you go deliver supplies, like, it's... I don't know. Obviously, it's not getting anywhere near hooks, but hooks are kind of not really in your immediate future. You got unexpected allies, so you don't need to worry about it. Like, you can just pick one battle and get that worm in anyways without the hook. That's the power of unexpected allies, the fact you do not need hooks to get a worm in. So... could go Imperial Basin, I guess, but you don't have access to shipping. Like, you've got to do something with faction access. Espionage is fine. It would give you the second influence for, like, prepare the ways and stuff. I wouldn't go Emperor, I don't think. I think it's either Deliver or Espionage. Secrets feels a bit kind of slow. I think they have to do one of these now. I'd love to see them go deliver supplies. Muad'Dib does not want to see that at all. Muad'Dib is praying they just espionage and block green. Because obviously Muad'Dib is desperately trying to look. Everyone's trying to see what Red's hand is. You're going to see a lot of that, I think, in this one. Some people care a lot more about looking at people's discards and such than other people, which just, you know, it's how it is. Well, well, well. Just takes Imperial Basin. Just going to grab the loose spice here. Guess doesn't want to give Shaddam the chance of picking up Imperial Basin high line. Which was definitely a line they could have taken. So they're just going to hit deliver. Surely. No, the espionage, of course, for Guild Spy. Sorry, for Guild Spy. Yep. They pull their ring. Which is a bit awkward, because it's a fight they kind of want to get involved in here. Didn't really want to see that. So Muad'Dib has the choice. He could go Arakeen and try a draw here. And look for worm access. I guess his backup is if he draws and misses, he's always got Corinth City to do something with, or do something with whatever he draws as Diplo, or, you know, whatever else. If he peels Covert Operation, that's just a reveal. But I think Arakeen is too much value here, potentially. So does hit convincing and misses. And Gurney Hallett might be ruining not going to deliver supplies. They could still do it, though, because Margot's played a Diplo. And Gurney Hallett might realise they've actually got chances at Deep Desert here. Muad'Dib's not wanting to commit too heavily to a fight that doesn't match with them. Smar goes to win. Uses Mauler Pistol for the draw rather than Signet Ring's Spy, which is interesting. Not going to put the troop in? Okay. Very, very tepid, this, isn't it? Yeah. Has to do it now. So Muad'Dib, maybe a little unlucky. Had even the extra draw and still misses. And Gurney Halleck is going to be accruing a ton of spice at Deep Desert, and that is unfortunate for Muad'Dib here. But that's the way it goes down. He's probably going to get to Haga Basin with Thumper at least and pick up a couple of spice, which is, you know, better than nothing. But obviously not the result he was looking for here. It's a weird spot for Shaddam. Could just Spice Refinery and just take it down. Could Spice Refinery and actually pay some of the Solari for the bump. But no way to use leverage. When you've got the ring with Shaddam, like, you feel like you can't want to use it. It is a good ring. But you could also just probably win this fairly cheaply. Like, you could probably just limp a dude in here and just take this down if you wanted. But it looks like they're just going to stay out of it. So everyone's kind of playing a little cautiously here. They just going to just take the cash here. Would you pay for a bump early with Shaddam? Nope. Just going to garrison. They're just going to wait. So it looks like they might be eyeing up Haga Basin here next round. Get in the way of Muad'Dib. That's very possible. So Muad'Dib's got a choice. Could, like, gather support or something. I think it depends. Does Muad'Dib want to use Current City now for the point and sacrifice some action economy? No, he's just going to take the Solari. Wow, that's pretty big. Finds questionable methods. That's a real nice one to have. The blackmail of old Dune Imperium. Very strong mid game combat. So Margot gets one dagger and is actually going to win this. She imagines, which is pretty ridiculous. Couple of cheap wins so far. Yeah. Way it goes. Looking for Desert Power for 6, but missed it. That's the way it goes down sometimes. No one has 6 Persuasion. Everyone is at 5 or less. So take Sardaukar Soldier that peels off Space-Time Folding, which is probably too good to pass up. Extra access is nice. Also just a bit of Holo Projectors action going on as well. For 1 cost, it's pretty sweet. No, doesn't take it. Space in Guild's Favor is next. That's a good coster for 5. And Muad'Dib can get that. Gurney can't. Doesn't have enough strength. Could, in theory, use Unexpected Allies here. And get up to 6 strength. And take Space in Guild's Favor. Just saying, they're not going to do it, but they couldn't officially do that. I think Space Time Folding would be more than sufficient. Everyone's playing kind of it. I don't want to say everyone's playing scared here, but people are very conscious. They do not want to peel off like a good, strong 5 or 6 coster for someone else in this row. The dynamics of this are kind of funky. Spy Network comes off next, so just finding loads of these cheap cards here. Emperor Shaddam's going to take that if it gets revealed. Red might be forced into this, yep. And Blue immediately saying, you can't let Green have 3 faction spies. Obviously, Blue would say it. Yeah, they know they've got to do it. But they can put it on the Fremen. It's not the worst. Imperial Spy Master now comes off. Man, so many cheap cards. They do need to put the spy down, of course. I assume it would go to the Fremen. So she's down with 4. Spy Master's better than nothing. I don't know how often he's going to be recalling spies. It's also just Emperor access, which is, you know, it's always nice. Faction access is pretty limited in this game. There's not much of it out there, so kind of trying to monopolize that can't be bad. This is not the worst card in the world. But no way to get Space-Time Folding. Space in Guild's Favor, even. Sorry. Wow. Okay. I get it, actually. Gurney's like, well, I've got the spy. I've blocked him from it, but I'm going to do what I want. Doesn't have to put it on a faction. I mean, Shaddam's still got to get the Spiceless Flow, so he needs to start buying 2 Costas now. Rebel Supplier comes off. It's a decent card for blue. Like, Red's got his own game to worry about, ultimately. I dare not comment. Yeah, Red's got their own game to worry about. They're about to be out of action for Swordmaster. I totally get taking time and just put it on Council. I think that's fine. So it looks like they're getting ready to go Spice Refinery, and assuming someone's going to beat them to it and then get Swordmaster in a couple of rounds. I think this actually makes sense. Ultimately, if Shaddam's going to go to a third faction, he's going to go to one of them. So, you know, this is what it is. Now the big cards are in high places now. Big cards starting to come off here. So Margot's going to win? Is Muad'Dib playing questionable? They are going to play questionable. Now they've got to be careful here. They're only playing for the 1 sword. Wow, they're not actually willing to down bump the Fremen here. They're just doing it just to basically recycle the intrigue. I don't know if that's right. But they did. Anyways. Intelligence report for blue is okay. Muad'Dib pulls go to ground, which is also okay. I don't know. I think if you're not gonna... If you just go recycle the intrigue, I think... I don't know. I don't like using questionable methods for that. I think you either just want to use it to win, or just don't use it at all. I think it's too good a card to spin off like that, but whatever. Oh boy. Wow. Wow. It's the crazy one. Protect the Seachers. This alliance is wide open. Gurney has to go Deep Desert. I know he wants to go Spice Refinery, but he has to Deep Desert. To Deep Desert would be... To not Deep Desert here and just let Muad'Dib go in there would be completely ludicrous, I think. His hand's not great either. He could Deep Desert, maybe go Assembly Hall, pick up Desert Power. But he's still got to get his hooks, though, which is a problem. Yeah, Muad'Dib, of course, should have the cash from the reveal. Forgot to do that. Yes. Well... It's mandatory he does something, and I wouldn't have let him go High Council, so... It was obviously what he's going to do. Don't do it again. Yeah, should have done it in the reveal. Like, they're not going for the High Council there, so I'm going to... You know, I'm not here to police it. But, you know... People forget stuff. You tend to find as well in these sort of games where the state of play is slower that sometimes more things get missed because people are getting so kind of in the weeds of what they're actually trying to do. So, yeah, this is going to be a long one. We are, what, about 35, 40 minutes deep in this match, and we're only at round 4. Gurney has a Deep Desert. Like, it's just... It's mandatory. You cannot let Muad'Dib thump a Deep Desert with worms on this fight. You just cannot allow that. Whatever you do afterwards, I don't know. You play it by ear. But I think to not Deep Desert here is completely absurd. You might get Spice Refinery anyways, that's what you want to do. But it sets it with 11 spice. You've got shipping access. Like, surely Deep Desert shipping is the play. Is just the play most of the time here. Gets you ready for Swordmaster next round. You can take the Spacing Alliance as well. Like, what else is the consideration here? You just gather up for unexpected allies later on. Like, I don't see any other reasonable move here. And yeah, if Muad'Dib gets Thumper to Deep Desert, like, he's favorite in this match. Like, it's that simple. He's just favorite in this match. Red has to win this to have any chance of trying to make it through again. It's very unlikely they're going to make top 2 here. But there are worlds it happens. Shaddam almost needs to pick up some money, almost to force Muad'Dib to kind of go Swordmaster immediately. Wow. They're assuming that Emperor Shaddam is going to pick up money to force Muad'Dib to Swordmaster immediately. Because otherwise they'd have got some action economy. And so that Muad'Dib Swordmasters, so they Swordmaster. It's not the way around I would have taken this round. One spot is in contention, the other one is not. I think that's what's going on here. I feel like they're doing it to try and hope that things get awkward here, but I just don't see it happening. Wild. So, third spy down. They do not use the spy espionage. Don't need to. Wow. Well, this is absolute Christmas time for Muad'Dib here. Probably cannot believe this. It is deep desert. It is 6 spice. It is worms. It is an alliance. It does a match, but he does not care. Absolutely unbelievable for Muad'Dib. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And blue is not going to be happy with this. And yellow has gone favourite in this match. Almost on the spot. Muad'Dib's just got to get both dudes in here. You've got go to ground. Just force them away. Yep. Crazy. Like, Muad'Dib could even, like, go Sardo. There's so many things Muad'Dib can do now. It's pretty cooked. Back to Margot. You must be wondering, what on earth did she do here? She's got a tricky hand, actually. 7 persuasion. Not the best. Access is limited. Does not have drawing with the Bene Gesserit here. Might feel forced to intelligence report just to try and find a better card to use. Like, it's all pretty rubbish. Might also go accept contract for like the refinery double draw. Could see that happening. Yeah, this is the world we occupy now. This is the world we occupy. The power dynamic of this table has changed. Maybe irreparably. And Muad'Dib's still got to get to Swordmaster first as well here, because no one's beating him to it. Muad'Dib, massive favourite now. Well, maybe not massive favourite, but a significant favourite in this game at this point. Margot's just going to grab some spice, get some worms in, and just try and double combat rewards. Figure they ain't got much else to do. Are they just going to reveal early for Desert Power? I don't know. Goni does Assembly Hall because they want to get Desert Power themselves. They pull Change Allegiances is actually not bad. That will give them some... that will accelerate their reach to Siege maybe next round, if no one else goes there. Emperor Shaddam's got 8 Persuasion. Hard to see how he gets any Spices Flow here, though. Doesn't need to worry about getting any money necessarily. Has to work out what he's doing with the ring here. Or what they're doing with the ring, I think. I don't think it's a he, actually. If you're watching this back, Coyote, I'm getting the pronoun wrong here. I do apologise. My pronouns tend to be based on the leader you're using, not who you are, so... They're gonna get dudes in. They figure they gotta try and get stuff here. So it also gets leverage off, which they are interested in doing. Can't win the fight, of course. They'll take probably just the Spice Refinery contract, I would imagine. Yep, and do. Man, Muad'Dib cannot believe the position they find themselves in at this juncture. Cannot believe it. I kind of can't believe it. Well, Margot's got problems here. Assembly Hall from Gurney would suggest that they are after Desert Power. And Shaddam likely has a decent persuasion hand as well. So there's a lot of problems here for her. And I think she's going to reveal her head to try and get hold of it. Yeah, that's exactly what we see here. Taking high places. Yeah, not hugely surprised to see this. Just going to grab the base and spy, maybe. It's kind of awkward. I think it's probably the best place for it here. So Gurney was 6. I assume is taking Desert Power. They still need hooks, though, so they're going to have to use Change Allegiances to assist with that. And Shaddam's got 7. Don't see how Shaddam's ever using the swords to slow down Margot here. Seems very unlikely. I don't think there's enough value in it. That hurts. That hurts. Not even willing to buy anything with 7 persuasion. That tells you the dynamic on this table at the moment. Players are terrified to... absolutely terrified here. Muad'Dib, sure, he's just got to go deliver supplies here and get more water, you'd think. Could go Emperor. Could go Secrets, I guess, as well. It's also fine. But it seems a really good spot to go deliver supplies. There's a lot of competition for that spot, so... And more water is just good. It means you're just threatening everything. Yeah, he's going to go Emperor instead. Just take the espionage contract. Okay. Let's get that cash in a couple of rounds. Some High Council could be in Muad'Dib's plans. Gets a couple of spies to put down along with his couple of persuasion. Where those spies are going, I don't know. I guess one goes to Siege, surely, for future wall blowing, that sort of stuff. The other one, I don't know. I don't hate Arakeen Spy, actually. That's going to get in Blue's way. I think Siege and Arakeen is okay for Muad'Dib here. Could put it on the Fremen, I guess, as an insurance policy. I think Siege is pretty much mandatory here. It's an interesting spot for it. They're looking to double espionage contracts. That's what's going on here. I think that's the plan. Because the other ones come off on the board here, so they're looking to double that up. So Arakeen Spy it is. Okay. Muad'Dib wants to retreat. He's got a... Muad'Dib needs to get a spy as well. It is mandatory. I don't really want to keep him out of him, though. Picks up Manipulate. Which is also pretty good. Nothing will be played here. I don't think Muad'Dib's going to go to ground. I don't think it's worth it. Nope. So, yeah. What a crazy, crazy round of value that is. Kind of absurd. And it'd be interesting to see if anyone's able to stop Muad'Dib here now. He is geared for the rest of this game. If Muad'Dib wins Protect the Sieges and gets the Alliance, they tend not to lose the match. Spice Refinery is next. First war conflict of the game. Dagger only matches Muad'Dib here. Maybe we might see Muad'Dib go like Sardaukar or something here once every now and again. He's picked up Thumper though. There's no bonus spice out there. Shnam, obviously Swordmasters. So yeah, Thumper isn't really doing anything. Bit of a naff hand, really. Could go accept contract with Covert, draw some cards, make people discard, make life a bit difficult. He wants to... I think Muad'Dib would love to use Corinth City for its agent action this round and get some discards for the money. The problem is he's got to pick up the money. So Muad'Dib might think maybe if I go accept contract, double draw, if I can get to Espionage, it'd be good. Just going to do it this way instead. Definitely can't ship. Muad'Dib does not have... Oh, is that why you put the spy there for shipping access? Oops. Needs 2 persuasion of the guild. Definitely doesn't have that. Well, that's if that's what the intention was, that's a complete misplay. We've all been there, but that's a significant miss. So I think he's just going to accept contract and double draw here. Yeah. No faction access. Doesn't find it. No ring either. Pause reconnaissance though, so it gives Spice Refinery options. I don't think, and he does have guaranteed access to it. So I think you're going to see Muad'Dib probably Spice Refine and then hit the Emperor here and do some discarding with Corinth. I imagine is what you're going to see here. Seems about the best thing I can think of from Muad'Dib. I don't really see much else here. Marco probably does have to Spice Refine just to get ready for Swordmaster next round. No one's really going early High Council, I don't think, this game. It's not really that sort of row. It's all just cheap cards out there. Very possible you might not see really much buying of any real cards anymore, bar Spiceless Flows, so... Shaddam obviously does want to go High Council, because it will enable them to get off the Guild Spy Spiceless Flow hits. Which is obviously what they're basing the game around here. If Margot wants to Spice Refine, she's got to do it now. Can't imagine it's going to stay there a ton. People have got spice, people want cash. If you think they will, then, you know, you just got to hit it. No. They're going to go via shipping instead. Or at least plan to. I suppose Gurney can't get there, so shipping is going to be the move. If Gurney Hallett wants to get his hooks, now's the time with Change Allegiances to get into... to get to the Siege here. You've got your ring as well. And you probably got to do it now. While you still can. I wouldn't be hesitating. Got your ring as well. It's not a bad conflict to go into. Put in some troops. You're going to get probably a decent reward out of your free troops. Gives you the extra persuasion as well. Always smiling. You're not likely to win it, but I don't think that's a huge concern. Yeah, if you put in 3 troops and got second place, I think that's not a bad result. No, just going to Throne Kit and draw heavy here. So it looks like they're going to... No, not even going to buy the Spice. So just getting their access here to Siege. Reckon they're getting there. Of course, Shaddam just going to draw. Trying to get his way towards Spiceless Flow. Obviously gets the agent back. He's Spellmasters. He gets the additional intrigue here. Pulls Show and Profits, which is okay. I don't think it's that likely they're going to get 4 contracts off for it, though. I think it's a difficult ask, but they might be able to get there sometimes. Also stops Muad'Dib espionaging, which is obviously a very likely move for them. They didn't have access, but... So it depends what Muad'Dib wants to do here. I think Spice Refinery and just go like Emperor is fine. He might be more interested in the money though. He's going to go Refinery here. So it is a force discard. You do need to decide your space first. Yeah, cool. So so everyone is forced to discard. Harvester down for Margot, Dagger and Dune elsewhere. I'll be putting in 2 troops. You got to go to ground. Allows you to be a bit more liberal here. So the main question is, where is Muad'Dib? Is he going to go Corinth? To Sardaukar. I think I prefer Sardaukar than Dutiful for you specifically. That heavy garrison as well is going to mean you are just bearing on all conflicts coming up here. I'll go ships as noted. No Arakeen for her spy, so Siege will have to be. Swordmaster for Gurney. And then Shaddam's got his Diplo. What does he want to do with this? Does he just hit Secrets and just get in front on the Alliance here? I suspect that's what you're going to see. Maybe goes Emperor. No, I think now's the time for Desert Tactics. Doesn't match for him. But, you know, also doesn't need to go too heavy here. Can just limp in and know they're going to get a couple of spies for their troubles, which is pretty good. Depends if they want to get stuck in here or not. I don't think they'll bother. They've played fairly cagey with their battle resources, waiting for a big pair fight to get stuck in with, so I'm not surprised to not see them go too heavy here. So is it Sardaukar? It is Sardaukar. Yeah, I think this is the best place to put it. Oh my goodness me! Wow. Wow. That is bad news for his opposition. That is absolutely horrendous news for his opposition. Toll will feel that they've got one foot in the quarterfinals. Second place is good. Second place and they will make quarters. And they'll be wondering, it seems hard to see how they're not going to make top 2 finish at this rate. If not, just win this outright. So Margot with a couple of persuasion. Don't think she's going to buy much. Maybe prepare. That's about it. Not sure what Gurney's plan is here with action 3. I mean, this fight is there for the taking if they want it. They can just go Arakeen and just take it down a lot. They obviously want to go Siege though. They will get the hooks, but still, if they want to get stuck in and take this down, they could do it pretty easily. You know, it's not a match, but you don't have any matches. So if you're just waiting for match conflicts, you're never going to win anything. You've got to, you know, I think you can afford to put in a bit of aggression here. Fairly cheap win. Probably going to get some money off of the refinery as well. Yeah, and does agree. Also an extra persuasion, so seems fairly reasonable. So Shaddam's going to reveal 4. I guess I might just take a prepare and that's about it. Nope. That's 2 reveals now, not buying anything. Very cagey. Could also say disciplined. Depends what side of the coin you want to go with here. But yeah, 2 rounds. It's like 11 persuasion now. Not bought anything. So Muad'Dib. Is Muad'Dib Spices powering this fight? Is the question. They might do it. They figure they're going to get the spice refunded here. It is a match. And the spy would be useful. It's a card you kind of want to keep usually for later on in the game, but he's going to manipulate a card out here, just trying to cycle the deck without buying here. Also a card they might want. Well, Price is No Object is out, but they obviously can't afford that, but it's a big card. If they don't take Reliable now, the card will be just lost. I don't think Muad'Dib's taken it. I think Muad'Dib was just trying to cycle for a card they could buy a free persuasion. Yep, they do not. So it's out of there. So I don't feel like Muad'Dib is going to use Spice's power. Gunny doesn't buy either. Yeah, this is very, very cagey row stuff here. No one interested in opening the can. Shaddam does have 5 strength in swords. I don't expect them to play it, and they don't. Does Muad'Dib want a power? I don't know. Hold on. Yellow's not passed here. Yeah, I don't think Yellow's passed, guys. Hold on. Yeah, Yellow's strongly thinking about it. It's a legitimate consideration. They could also go to ground as well. They could go both ways. They could even try and use both. It'd be a bit greedy. Yeah, and they are going to do it. I had a funny feeling they were going to do it because they figure they're going to get the spice rebate here. I'm not entirely shocked to see this. So Muad'Dib gets the pair. They're going to get some spice back. It's a big card come out, but they've got such a heavy garrison and worm presence. I think, yeah, they can just do this pretty liberally here. Gurney Halleck Pulver's Devour. It's quite a nice one to have, actually, with the worm with Unexpected Allies in hand. It's a pretty useful find. But yeah, it's looking ominous here for Yellow here. Yellow looks just... It just looks really ominous now. It's test of loyalty. It's a fight Muad'Dib might go for. He's got the spy up with... he's looking maybe some High Council. He'd have to use Space and Guild Favor to do it, which isn't ideal. But... the thing is, he'd have to probably Deep Desert. Because Gurney Halleck's sitting there with full water as well, which is very uncomfortable, so... It's, Muad'Dib has to tread carefully. It's also kind of one of those fights where... I mean, he has to get involved. Worst come to worst, I mean, there's money here for Corinth City. Like, Muad'Dib has to get stuck in here. There's no if or buts. The question is, does he go Haga Basin or Deep Desert? I don't think Muad'Dib could not get stuck in here. His hand's not great, though. His hand is trouble. But there's no way Muad'Dib's not getting stuck in here in some form. Just going to spend the 1 water. I think this is right. I think I prefer this to Deep Desert. And it's an alliance he could win as well here. So I remind people to do things. I just drop the card on whatever they're doing to tell them, do the thing. It's mandatory, so gotta tell them. Right. Margot's got Calculus along with Sardaukar Soldier here. Reminder, Calculus of Powers Reveal allows you to trash other Emperor cards in play for the swords here. This also is a match for Margot. It's also a fight. It's also a faction she's not going to progress with. So I think Margot is going to feel very tempted to get stuck in here. But there's no Highlander access, so... She could draw a couple of cards of intelligence. She's got options. I don't know what you want to do here. It's a tough call. I think Margot feels they've got to have a dab at it. Is there ever any, like, research station here? Of course, she can hag a base and she's got the spy down. I feel like Margot's going to feel like they've got to get stuck in here. Shaddam has got 9 persuasion in hand, by the way. And they are eyeing up High Council. Very likely you might see a Spice Refinery High Council play from Shaddam here. If Margot gets in, she's got to feel that she's going to win it. Second place is pretty bad for her. If you research station, you lose worm access. Probably. Unless you're going to go research Siege Hagger Basin? I guess you could. Just the Arakeen double draw. And there is Highliner access. And there is Highliner access. Gurney has a pretty crazy hand here. I think he has to just go deliver supplies, take the Spacing Alliance. He can discard to draw, and he can discard Spy Network to draw an additional card here. Gunhat needs action economy, I think, pretty desperately. And the Alliance would be good too. It's not safe. Margot could highline and could give you problems. I think Gurney's going to feel he's got much else to do here. He would obviously like to try and get like a Spiceless Flow, but with this draw specifically, very hard. Unless you just hit Espionage immediately. Also doesn't feel too great. I think the action economy is more important. Gurney also feels that they probably need to get themselves ready for next round. Obviously, tier 3s are coming. But it's really hard to see how he gets up to like 5 spice for a highlight. Especially with both his spacing cards, 2 of them in hand. Really hard to get there, so it's a bit of a difficult draw out for red here. I think if you just go deliver supplies and just take the point and the cash, like, no one would feel... And just double draw off of Spy Network. I don't feel anyone would be... particularly against that. It's even out you like Espionage. But I feel like this can't be a bad move. Yeah, seems good to me. So my assumption... No, not for space-time folding. Tom said yes. Definitely isn't. It is optional. There's an arrow. If there's ever an arrow, it is not mandatory. Doesn't discard. Wow. Now that is surprising. That is surprising. Shaddam does go Spice Refinery as noted. High Council is coming. No, there is a card, Guild Envoy, I believe it is. It's the free Costa Diplo style, where it's just the discard. Simple on its own, which is a mandatory discard. Space on folding is not it's got the arrow to it, so it is always optional. Man, Shaddam's about to gain a lot of good stuff here. Can Shaddam get 2 more contracts in this game? It's gonna be tough. Yeah, it is probably too late. Yeah, I'm afraid I'm probably in agreement there. They probably should have done. Anyways, Muad'Dib hits his espionage and gets his cash for Corinth. He actually pulls Corinth right away, which is really annoying time for Muad'Dib. Because he's got his ring and he kind of wants to get more dudes in. He wants to win this fight. It's a bit awkward here for Muad'Dib, actually, that draw. You can say, well, he just uses it. But, I mean, you could, but he kind of wants to... The only thing I could think is maybe Muad'Dib goes Imperial Privilege. He does have access to it. It's the new Mentat spot. Pays 3 Solari for Privilege, and then pays 5 for Corinth. I think there might be an option here. And that still gives him the firepower to get stuck in with the fight. Gives him some action economy. Makes life awkward for green. It might be an option here for Muad'Dib, actually. I don't hate it. They've got the spy from espionage to put down. I don't know where they want to put it. All the spots they'd want to put it are probably taken here. Deep Desert, I guess. I think Deep Desert's fine. Given the spies down in Haga Basin, you'd want to guarantee some worm access. So I suspect that's what we'll see. I look at the price of no object here, but I don't see them getting it likely. I think it's going to be Deep Desert, yeah. It's the only place that makes a lot of sense to me. So, Margot does have access to... Oh, she doesn't have access to Swordmaster right now. She'd have to use Intelligence Report to draw it. She doesn't even care. Wow. She's like, I don't need it. I'm just going to hit Sardaukar and not worry about it. Okay. Bad by Tron, by the way. No contracts completed, so it's just a down bump for 4 cash. Don't know how useful that's going to be. Only just Frem kits. No green access. They could have drawn for it, but they chose not to. Margot is clearly going to reveal their 2 spies here for the Spiceless Flow. That's what's going on. Shaddam just cleanly getting what he wants here, but obviously has a lot of distance to catch up. So what does Muad'Dib want to do here? I think Imperial Privilege is the move for me. I really like Imperial Privilege. Because you can get it, and you're going to get the money back here. You can cycle go to ground. It's not a great intrigue for you right now. Assembly Hall it instead. Yeah, Dinosaurs, yeah, in Group P. Very tight battle just for any kind of qualification. Muad'Dib is going to keep all the battle here. I don't know. I think I would have liked Privilege there specifically because you're going to get some money back, but, you know, I guess this is also okay. I guess if you're going to pull Market Opportunity, it doesn't matter, right? Wow, what a pull. That's pretty wild. I mean, Muad'Dib is probably just going to win this match, being honest. Ever since the Deep Desert thumper hit. Yeah. Anyways, so Margot is going to have 4 daggers here. She gets 1 from Sardaukar Soldier, and then if she wants to, she can trash it with Calculus. She keeps the Persuasion, the swords. Yeah, of course. So, gets to trash it. It's 4 daggers. Still gets the Persuasion as well. They pull Desert Mouse, which is... helping a ton here. Spiceless Flow as well. Do they have 12? 2, 4, 5, 6... Hold on, I don't think you had 12. That's 11. Yeah, didn't think they had enough. Didn't have enough Rebel Supplier. So, been a miscount there. Instead of trade came off, by the way, it would have been an amazing car for some of our players here. But no, don't have enough persuasion for it. 4 intrigues in hand. They're just going to use one here and call it a day. Don't want to get secret stolen. It's reasonable. And Muad'Dib now cannot win this fight. That's why I preferred going Imperial Privilege. Because it gives you the extra action. So if Margot suddenly has some tricks here, like, you've got the opportunity to respond. I mean, Muad'Dib's still going to get a very cheap second place. 8 Solari and the 2 troops. But offloading that cash now is not the easiest. So, yeah, that's just the way I say it. I personally prefer Privilege. But, you know, going the route he did, I guess, is okay. Gurney's got a deep desert here. And Gurney feels they've just got to get stuck in and make something happen. No, they just take the slice. Ah. They're just going to take the spice. Oh my god. Are they looking at a Fremen steal? They might be here. Maybe he feels they've just got to try and stop Toll from winning. Shaddam has got plenty of persuasion. There's not any danger of spice plus flow here. They could definitely just use Spy Master at a faction. They obviously want to recall the agent if possible to get the intrigue. So they could just go espionage with it. Or they could just hit the Emperor. They're going to recall the spy? No, didn't think so. So, green is going to start accumulating points here now. But I do fear that this is too far gone. I think Muad'Dib is just too far ahead at this point to be caught. They get 1 intrigue to try and bow themselves out of trouble. Ambition is not going to help them now, but it now gives them license to High Council and get the water for Deep Desert, so they can live with it. Gurney Hallett with 6 persuasion here will at least get price of no object. Which is not a bad card. Surprised they didn't at least limper a dude in on Deep Desert just to get some cash for price, but eh. So price is a pretty cool card. Lets you acquire cards into your hand using Solari instead of Persuasion. You can do it for Spice of Flows. You can pay 9 Solari just to take a Spice Flow into your hand and get the point. It's pretty cool. I'm sorry, what? Well. More swords. Well, Muad'Dib's just got to go to ground here, right? Oh, but the problem is he's got no spy spots. He'd be able to shift one if he wants. And he'd save his troops. Nah, not even worth it. Figures, whatever. Maybe he's looking to go privilege with go to ground later. Probably should have just done it straight away. Anyways, doesn't matter. So Margot's going to take it down here. Which is good news for her. Keeps herself in the game here. Up to 8. You think they're probably about the only person that can stop Muad'Dib here, but Muad'Dib looking very scary, truthfully. If blue can win this, they're in the quarters. And they will top the table. As it turned out. I don't know. I just think if Muad'Dib really wanted to win that fight, they could have played it differently. But they didn't. Anyways, here we are then. It's the Battle of Arrakeen. It's vacant. It's a dagger match. Only person with a dagger out there is blue via endgame. No one else has anything. It's the spy lifting one as well. It's not the best worm conflict because you can't really double those rewards, but you know. Point to point. The problem is the wall is up. And that is what's going to be of interest here. The wall is up. You've got 3 people with hooks. They're all going to be, and they've all got plenty of water, so none of them are going to be particularly keen about blowing the wall here early. Obviously, Gurney's got unexpected allies, so he can do it whenever he wants. There might be reason for Gurney just to go siege himself and just keep the wall up. There might raise suspicion that he's got a detonation. There's decent odds that there's an intrigue out there that blows the wall between these 3 players. They've all got 3 intrigues. And we haven't seen any of them, so it's if I was sitting at this table, I would think it's very possible that someone's got one of them. There's quite a few unexpected allies, detonation itself, the lift the spy for 2 spies and detonation, that sort of thing. Like they're all out there, so I think it's very, very possible we see it. But Margot is first. Margot probably isn't going to bother going Swordmaster here. I think she's going to look to probably do an action go Privilege. She does have access now, of course. Bat by Trome is doing basically nothing in her hand, and she'd want pretty much anything else other than that. I don't think that money's ever really any particular use to her right now, so... Margot's got options. Research Station. She needs 2 points, does Margot. If she gets the Spice of Slowing, that's 1. But where the heck's the other point coming from? That's the issue. Where on earth is the other one coming from? I feel like Research Station and with Intelligence Report, you're basically just guaranteed Spice must flow. But Blue's trying to work out where they're going to get a 10th point from. And it's either an alliance or they fluke an intrigue. Like an opportunism, maybe, or stockpiling for the spice. Something like that. It feels like an intrigue dig. You also kind of have to try fighting here. If Muad'Dib wins this fight, like the game's going to end. And they're probably going to have you beat here. But Blue has not got much in the way of firepower. They are not happy about this situation at all. It's kind of not pleasant. But I think Margot probably just the Research Station and work it from there. Muad'Dib's hand is very limited, by the way, but you know, these spies around is making his life easier. Again, he wants to go High Council so he can go Deep Desert and get dudes in here. Margot opens with Arakeen. I think she's going to put the spy to the Research Station, just get maximum drawing here. Yep. It's all going to start going in. I expect you will see Research Station played. Gurney kind of doesn't want the wall to come down. Might influence him going Siege. Just to protect it a little bit. And give some insurance. Margot's got the spy there, but I don't know if Margot is ever blowing this wall. Maybe? She might feel she has to. At least you could limit the draw. What else has Gurney got here? Very limited access. Could just ship and just take the Bene Gesserit point, I guess. But then you got a lot of money and you're not really doing anything with it. Could go gather support, maybe? And just garrison up and take the water. Kind of see what happens. Are you interested in the Fremen Alliance? You could definitely steal it from Muad'Dib. It is very takeable. We've changed allegiances as well. Like, you could absolutely barrel away at that if you want. I think the problem with that, though, is that if you're going to take it, you've probably got to do it now while he's at 4 bumps. If he goes up to a 5th, you're never going to touch it. Does Siege. Does stop the wall blow. Is speculated. Okay. I don't know how often it's actually going to stop the wall being blown entirely, but now it gives Margot something to think about. Shaddam has got a pretty hideous draw, by the way. I suspect they're just going to go Emperor and just draw some cards or something. Oh, Fremkit's also there as well. Imperial Basin. No. Highlines are getting readied here. And Shaddam thinks it's time to go. They obviously have infiltration and they have the point to gain there, so I mean, you got to put in the 2 troops and threaten it, right? You'd be worried about Shaddam or Gurney maybe Highland before you, but it's not that likely. All his spacing cards are in his discard here. So Muad'Dib can't blow the wall if that's what he wanted to do. It is not an option for him anymore, so I suspect we're just going to see a research station and just draw a load of cards. The troops will go in, pretty much irrespective of whatever he draws here. He's got go to ground still, so pull Space in Guild's favour. It's pretty big. 2 persuasion in, 3 spice for a bump. Would be useful. So is Margot going Imperial Privilege, or is she going to go Swordmaster? I think I prefer going Privilege here. Just block it from your opposition, you know. Intelligence Report first, to draw 2, which is not a surprise. Dagger and whatever she picks up here. Hand's getting pretty big here. Zoom out a touch for you guys, I guess. Pulls another Prepare the Way, so 8 Persuasion. It's Prepare the Way for me. It's Imperial Privilege for me. Like, you can go Swordmaster afterwards if you want as a stall. You might be better off waiting to see what the heck's going on in this game. I don't think you can really use Back by Choem a lot here. Like, there's bumps you kind of need. You've only got your friendships basically with all of them. And if you go Imperial Privilege, it stops yellow from being able to double draw there. Which seems very likely. They've got 11 cash. If they've got Corinth, they can only spend 5. It's an obvious place for them to go. If they're going to go High Council, then, you know, so be it. Unless Blue wants the High Council. They will be worried about covert operation from Yellow, though. They'd have to be forced to make a discard, and that's the problem they've got. If they use one dagger and don't draw, and they lose the other one, they're going to be kind of a bit out of options next round. It's going to be a little tricky. Again, the other problem is that you only got 1 point. I think Privilege is going to influence it because they need to find a 10th point. Yep, that's what I thought. Oh my god, they pulled High Places. It's pretty good. What do they find? Do they find anything good? Well, it's a wall break for them now. They pull Special Mission. Have to recall the Arakeen agent. It's the only other agent in play. So now they can detonate the wall and start getting worms in. If they can win the fight, they just win the game. They're fruits. They top the table. It's got to be tempting. Man. Bad place for Gurney Halleck this. Arakeen has reopened itself. I think Gurney Halleck should... Ooh, he can't do that either. I was going to say... Research Station would be really good because he can get the water back from a Fremen Steel. I think he's just going to have to go Arakeen and just draw. I think I probably would have just used my... would have used Prepare the Way here, truthfully. But whatever. Shaddam's just going to ship. Or set contract. So now is giving themselves options here. They've pulled Guild Spy. But they've only got 8 Persuasion. Oh, that's a tricky draw. Wow. Obviously, if they go Sardaukar, it's an endgame point. But they might feel they've got to go in anyways and win it. And they are definitely threatening just ripping in with Highliner. And Muad'Dib is going to beat the beat to the punch here and is going in with Space and Guild's favour and is just going to absolutely send it all in. Just going to barrel it in here. Green's a little unlucky. Of course, they have the infiltration. But the price of bread has just gone up. I don't think Green's going to be able to not go in here, though. They've got 8 swords in hand, and if Yellow wins, like, it's just over. So I don't think there's anything that that Green's going to be able to do about it. They just have to shut their eyes and get stuck in, and just hope they win it via intrigues. It's not great. The thing is, with Muad'Dib, he's not really got any more strength to put in. He's only got the 1 troop left in his supply. His garrison's empty. From his garrison, his supply is empty, to say, and he's got no water for worms that you know of. There's only 1 intrigue in the game that gives water, and he can't fulfill it because he does not have the High Council seat. So that's why Shaddam's looking at the intrigue pile here. And they're trying to work out if they can get to like 27, 28 strength with their swords in hand, can they win this fight? Highline would give plus 14, so they get him to 18. Weirding would be 23. Contingency would be 26. Is 26 strength enough to win this game? To win this battle? That's what they're trying to work out here. They'd be able to cash a couple of points. No match. They'd be able to lift spies if they wanted to. They'd be able to obviously take the main point. I don't know if they want to lift the spies, though. It's kind of they're in a weird spot here. But again, it's weird, but it's not weird. If Yellow wins the fight, game's over. It's just over. So your Green's gonna have to go in. Margot does Sword Master now. Just wait and see what happens. Gurney Halleck's in a pretty horrible spot here. I think the best thing Gurney Halleck can do is just try and save up for next round. Do you just ship here, get your Bene Gesserit bump, and then just change allegiances to take the alliance from Muad'Dib here? It should be noted that if that happened and Muad'Dib lost the alliance, that would change the mathematics a lot here. Suddenly it'd be a lot harder for Muad'Dib to win the match because he's got no worms and he can't double rewards here and he's got no match either, so that would change the maths a bit here. As it is, he's got 3 points to gain, 2 from battle, and they'd be very concerned that he'll be able to win 1 from a Spice Must Flow. He's got, you know, a bit of persuasion in his hand, research stationed, he's redrawn as well. Like, there's a lot of worry that he's got a Spice Must Flow in hand and the game just ends. Can definitely score 3, but he can't really score 4. I think whatever happens, there's just no way Gurney can get involved here. Gurney has to wait. Gurney's got to wait for... I hope there's an 8th round here. And the best way to make sure there's an 8th round is to take Blue's alliance. And I think this is the move. Here we go. Is he just going to down bump from the Bene Gesserit? I assume he's just going to down bump the Bene Gesserit. It has to go down on something. But I think this is a forced move here. That's not how it works. You get one and then the other. One is paid, the other one is a shift. Yeah, they have to. They've got it. They have to take this alliance. Green obviously wants them to take the alliance. Yeah, and they recognise. Yeah, Corinth, it could be over. There's a lot of ways it just ends here. Yeah, you can do both. It's not an all. Yep. So they will make the steal. Yeah, Margot figures, well, if Toll wins it in game clears comes a strong second, that he makes quarterfinals anyways. Is his logic here because of average points rating, which is true. Yep. I mean, the truth of the matter, though, is that Blue's saying that kind of suggests that they don't have a way to finish the game, doesn't it? Like, if you're sitting there with a way to 10 points, are you really saying that? You're gonna... It's not really a line you come out with, you know? My poker background coming up with me. Yeah, but all good, carry on. Red has to make the steal there anyways. Like, it's mandatory. They have to try and keep this game going. It looks very hard to see how Red is going to actually break in the top two, but, you know, the win would be good here. There's still an action, of course. At this point, I'm not so sure what Gurney wants to do. I don't hate Gurney Halleck. Just, I mean, he's got the 4 water. If next battle was propaganda and you went, like, gather support, you could literally deep desert and then put in even more worms if you wanted. But then next battle is literally 2 water for free ship, which isn't great. Gather support's fine. I think shipping's fine if you think you can try to get these friendship bumps. But at this point, it might not be worth it. It might not be worth it. Assembly Hall is okay, I guess. Not much else to do here. I mean... I don't see a reason to go Hanger Basin for the Spice. You could go Hanger Basin for the Spice to try to get the Highliner next round. I don't know how likely it is you're going to draw it, though. If you had the access guaranteed in your hand next round, I wouldn't hate the move. Highline, Unexpected Allies, Devourer, and then other stuff. Like, you probably have decent chances of winning next combat, which is going to be your best bet. But they're going to ship here and just try to make progress in the battle. They're just going to ensure the alliance here. I don't hate that. I don't hate just shoring up the from an alliance and calling it a day. I think that's not... It's not unreasonable. So it is the Sardaukar move for Shaddam here. He's going to try and find bumps with Guild Spy. He gets 2 draws. He gets an Agent Recall. He's pulled Opportunism, which is pretty significant. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 10 Persuasion. Has to recall an agent, of course. Only yellow and blue with actions to go. I don't think I'd be giving Imperial Basin up, because blue's got no water. Depends if Shaddam... The thing is, Shaddam now does not have to get involved in this fight. Because red has taken yellow's alliance, green now is not obligated to get involved in this fight here. And so this is the dynamics of the situation. Now yellow can't really finish the game here. So Shaddam might just wait. And that, for that reason, he might just give Imperial Basin up here and think, yeah, he's just going to sit and wait here. His problem, though, is his intrigues are a bit tricky here. His intrigues are a bit tricky. He's hoping he doesn't get secret stolen. But yeah, like the ways of down red, like red has to do what they have to do, but it's a massive boon for green, of course. And all of a sudden, Wardib is looking in a spot of bother here. Oh boy. Well, nothing's happened. Up to the table to decide. Not my business. To be safe, if nothing has happened on the table, it's probably okay. So is agreed. Obviously ensuring their hand is safe for showing profits as well as the opportunism point we're going to try and get off here. So reminder of the standings here. Benito sits top of the table with 14 but is not playing. Toll with 12 points, Game with 11 and Coyote with 10. If any of those three win the match, they top the table in the quarters. Game Slayer is happy to come second if Yellow wins, and vice versa. Coyote has to win this to make the direct quarterfinals direct. There's no other way really to make this work. And Damon in red here, acting as spoiler. Can't really see how they can make it with 7 points. They can make, in theory, some 13-point ties, but a chance at the quarters direct is kind of all but over here. Everyone is now in with a shot of this. Blue wishing they had a way to end this game, but it's just not on. They can score 1 point, but I just don't see how they can score a second. What on earth does Muad'Dib do here? Muad'Dib will be tempted to covert operation, knowing that Green obviously has Guild Spy and is trying to draw for it. And Green is going to score a lot of points here. The battle is won. They don't need to worry about that. They can also afford to spend a spy if they want to. I feel like High Council can't be a bad move here. It also gives them dispensation as well for next round, the water. They are a bit worried about walls being blown. It's a little uncomfortable, but I don't think you'd be that worried about it. Obviously, got no way of getting a worm in here themselves. I think Covert High Council is fine. I expect will be the move. No, Refinery. Just wants to get the troop in, I guess. And it doesn't feel a great... Doesn't feel great, this. One's just going to discard a card here. It's not going to make a big difference. Doesn't even put it in. Kind of a bit of a nothing move. So Margot just taking the spice there at this point. What's going on here? Bit of a weird time to play that. She can't hide council. Side of car's gone. Where's she going with that? I don't know. I think Blue's just kind of frustrated that they don't have a way of ending this game right now. And they're going to be basically kind of rolling some dice next round. It's looking pretty dicey for them here. Yeah, they went privileged, tried to draw it. I think Margot has to go Assembly Hall. There are intrigues that win this game for her, in theory. If she could find stockpiling, she can use Special Mission to get the spice to get the 10th point. Alright, that's one intrigue, I know. But, I mean, what else does Blue do here? They're not playing in high places. They could get some spice if they want. They could put a worm in. They'd only be able to realistically double second place rewards, though. It still doesn't help them win now. The other issue is, of course, that you're a little bit worried about blowing the wall now because you just let him go and he just hit Deep Desert next round and just obviously blasted in. Which isn't a particularly pleasant situation, but I don't think it's going to be a particular concern to them. If they want to try and end the game right now, I think Assembly Hall is about the only thing I can think of that can produce a win. Is stockpiling specifically. I don't think there's anything else out there. I mean, it's so hard. Obviously, it's one entry, you know. Out of 25 plus, like, there's others out there. Stockpiling could also be gone. The only other cards that give you the points is Opportunism, which you'd have to drop a point for anyway. That doesn't help you. But if you found stockpiling, you probably just win the game. Because you're going to get to 10 points, and I don't think anyone else is catching you. So if you assume it's not out there, it's 25 to 1 that you hit it and you win the game. I mean, it's not the worst odds in the world. You know, 4%. They come in occasionally. I just don't see what else Margot's got here. Yeah, might as well. Detonation she finds. Also pulls her Spice of Slow card. I mean, it's so hard to hit, but I didn't really see what else there was to do here. Gurney's just got to wait and just play for next round. Do not use Unexpected Allies here. It's not worth doubling the battle rewards, I don't think. He's thinking about it, but I just don't think there's enough value in it. This is a little bit... Yeah, just no need to get involved here. You just got to wait and hope this goes another round. So Shaddam's going to get the Spice Must Flow. He's going to get 2 bumps as well. But I don't think Shaddam can score a 4th point. There's no alliance to steal. Just going to pay for protection. Obviously trying to prep up for Opportunism. But he can't. Obviously, the idea is he's going to get the 6th bump off of the with the Bene Gesserit, but cannot Opportunism to go down because obviously now it doesn't have the cash because they paid for the extra bump, so he can't end it. Muad'Dib just takes nothing, just reveals, calls it a day. Oh yeah, what are you getting the intrigue for? It was impress. I'll get shuffled back in. Yeah, he's got no worm in. Just force a habit. I always say you got to show the card as well that you just pulled. So Margot gets to 9, but that is it. Considering putting a spy down, I mean, there's not really much Margot can do here. Could play Detonation to get the troops in just to try to fight for a reward here. The concern is that you might get overtaken by Shaddam as well. Yeah, just puts it in trying to get something out of this. I'm not surprised. Makes sense to me. And then Shaddam's going to score 3 points here. But cannot get to 10. No money in hand means they cannot Opportunism. Like, they're ready for next round. But they cannot finish. So Muad'Dib's going to take this fight here. And we're going 8 rounds. Shaddam can't play. Shaddam wants to play Weird in Conflict for a fight here, but there's just no point. There's just absolutely no point here. Surely to put this in here is ridiculous. You've got to keep these swords for next round as an option. Wow. Plays them just to deny red. Red might devour anyways here. I'm really surprised about that. Weird spot for red now. I think red will pass. But I really didn't expect that from blue. Weird spot for red. I don't know what to... I don't know. Do you play Devour here? How much badly do you need that 2 spice? If you don't think you need it, just say whatever. It's 5 swords you have to worry about next round. But I think they're going to talk themselves into doing this. Yep, and they do. They are going to take the 2 swords. I'm really surprised green fired those out. I really am. So, Margot and red will tie. They'll take the 3rd place. They'll both get 3rd place here. Yeah, that was a real surprise, Dags. I mean, very surprising, given that Shaddam has been very, very kind of frugal and tight here. I get what they've done. They've done it so they can get the money for opportunism. That's why they made the move here. They're scared they're not going to get the money, but they're going to get access to it somewhere here. I don't know. A little surprised they played it. Well, there we go. Anyways, so Muad'Dib scores 3. And we're going into the last round. I mean, I say last round. There's no way this game's going to continue, surely. Oh, my goodness me. Well, would you believe it? It's propaganda. There's no wall. Oh, my goodness. Wow, that is pretty wild. It's bad for red, actually. It's not really what I wanted to see. Not much value out of unexpected allies now, but whatever. But hey, if they win this and... You know, if they win this and, you know, with a worm, it's 2 points. And if they can find any kind of endgame match, it'll be as well. Blue's getting carried away. The mod does tell you that, so, yeah, blue well away. Unfortunately, 2 of the matches have been played now, so it's very hard to find the 3rd. So it's a little unfortunate for Gurney, this. It's a little unfortunate, this. I mean, what does Gurney do now? I think you go Hager Basin, because you can still play... Research. You can still play the ecological here as a double draw. Gurney has to win the fight and has to get Spiceless Flow. It's basically as simple as that. He has to win the fight with a worm and get the Spiceless Flow. It's a pretty poor conflict this for Shaddam as well, actually. He can't really score with the fight. He's already got opportunism ready, so... It's pretty bad for Shaddam as well. It's not really a good fight for anyone. I guess Muad'Dib at best, because he could get the bumps with the spacing in Benny, but that's about it. Other than that, it's a pretty... It's not really great for anyone. And he's just gonna research station. I think it makes sense. He's got to he can still get the worms in when he wants. Reminder, by the way, Desert Power is an ore. Just so you know. But he's going to use Unexpected Allies to get the worm in anyway, so don't worry about that. What on earth does Shaddam do here? I guess Shaddam just has to find Spiceless Flow. I think they're going to go for money. Yep. They got to try and threaten something. I don't think it's going to really be that meaningful. I suspect you're going to see opportunism and just going to send like Spy Master to secrets. Remember, Shaddam is sitting on an end basically sitting on 2 points here. One end game, one in play. If opportunism. Muad'Dib has to try to win this? Man, it's so bizarre. Again, blue and red don't even have any matches. And of course, blue sacked off both of the has given up both of the match intrigues, which would have been useful. They've been a point now, and it's a fight they could legitimately try and win. Very strange spot here. What are you trying to work out how best to score? There's value at high council potentially. I think they're just going to hit espionage and just work it out from there. Yep, not surprised. Just score what points are available. You know Corinth's coming. I don't think there's any way he's going to be able to score the Spacing Guild point, though. I don't see how he's going to find it. So he can definitely get to 10, but then what? They know he's got Corinth as well. They know that he's got Corinth. So Margot, of course, can highline. Like, she has to highline, right? And try to get a worm in and try to take Red's Spacing Alliance? I think? Like, what else is Red going to do here? They got no spies. I mean, they could obviously get to Research Station, but they can do that whenever they want here. The problem is if they Research Station, they then can't get any worms in. That is a problem. Mardeep's just desperately trying to find any way to, like, just find any more points to try and draw cards. So Margot's got a choice. Could highline and look to get worms in and try to take Red's Alliance. Could get spies down for and go Research Station, draw a load of cards, get a spice for flow. Both give you like 1 point, you'd think, but how on earth does blue score 2 points? There's no realistic way to challenge the Emperor Alliance as well. Kind of between here for blue. It's been a long game as well. Like, we've gone about 2 hours now. It's been long. People have been in the weeds. People are going to start getting tired. Fatigue is going to start creeping in here now. Maybe a little bit of annoyance as well for blue. They think they probably should have just had this game won at this point. Arakene's sitting there, I guess. They don't have to highline now if they don't want to. If they're going to get a worm in at Haga Basin, they probably have to just do it immediately. Can't really rely on that sitting there anymore. And if you highline, I think it's probably less likely you get to Haga Basin. Interesting thing to note as well is that Gurney could actually put a worm in with Desert Power, like sending it to Haga Basin, and then Ecological gives him the water back to then get another worm with unexpected allies, should be noted. Just an Arakeen draw with Recon. Doesn't feel great. And Gurney Halleck is gearing up here. Gurney Halleck is gearing up. Do you think I would have rather have gone just direct to Haga Basin and call it a day? So back to Shaddam here. So Shaddam knows they can score a couple of points. They also know that they need some help trying to do more here. So Shaddam's got an interesting spot. Now, if you think about it, there's been no influence intrigues out. You know, we haven't seen Imperium politics. We haven't seen by access. I wonder, does Shaddam ever go deliver supplies to pull a spy and try to fluke an intrigue to steal the alliance from Red? The problem is Red just going to take it back? I don't know. Anyways, the opportunism, double hit of Bene Gesserit, not a surprise. I think they're just going to go secrets a lot of the time and just try and pull and get lucky with intrigues here. Distraction is found. It's no use. Reach Agreement is also found, which is also no use. So nothing for them here. They might try to get to Imperial Privilege as well. They do have the money for it. Well, they've got one endgame point with Cho and Profits, but that's about it. Doesn't look like they're going to get any Spice Plus flows here. Muad'Dib, I think, is going to beat him to the punch, though. Yep. So pulls a couple of intrigues. 2, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, not great. So Muad'Dib again can get to 10. The problem is that Muad'Dib needs 2 spice to get a bump. To get, oh, he might just try and spend space. Hope he gets the Spacing Guild's favor to deliver spice. Actually, that could work really hugely for him here. Gets to redraw the intrigue, of course. Finds fine weakness, which is swords. I think it's going to be relevant here. So Muad'Dib can score a point if he can get to deliver supplies. I don't think anyone's going to block it either. I mean, Toll's going to feel that they're in decent shape here to make the quarterfinals. The second place is enough for them. It's hard to see. I mean, it's tricky. It's very close between them and green and blue. It's very close. If Muad'Dib can get to deliver supplies and score point 11, they're going to think they're pretty much good here a lot of the time for a top 2 finish, and they're going to make it. So, Margot having to think this through here. Margot could hang a base in the high line. It would give them 15 strength, plus the Mauler pistol for 16. Unless they try to draw for a Emperor card. So maybe 16 to 18 strength they're going to have. Is that ever enough? No, don't think so. Research Station it is. I think this is probably better. Draw 3 cards. Oh, that's a bad start. Oh, dear. It's a horror draw for Margot. She's got 7 persuasion. She's pulled the dagger and Spicer's Flow. It's a disaster. And no money for High Council either. It's a brutal draw. I think it was the right call. I think that's what I would have done a lot of the time, but it's yeah, complete disaster. She can still highline though. Obviously, that's being threatened. Gurney Halleck is off the siege. He's just going to draw a load of cards. He does have to hit the Spice Must Flow here. So he draws 2 more. 2, 4, 6. 6 and an Ore with Desert Power. He'd love a decent pull out here. Zoom in. He's having problems hitting the board there. That's 7. So he can use Desert Power as Persuasion and get the Spiceless Flow here. He'd have to use Unexpected Allies as its own card here, which he's just going to have to do. Problem is, if Margot highlines... Oh, he's going to use Unexpected Allies now! Oh, this is... So... The only reason he's doing this now is he's desperately trying to stop Margot from going in here. He's desperately trying... This is trying to warn him from saying, don't highline, please. Please do not highline. If you want to remove it. It's optional. You don't have to blow it. Okay.
No!
Yep. Not in this conflict. There's no wall. Go back to bed. Yeah, it's been a long one. I said at the start here. Just. So, but yeah, this move is purely a please don't highline Margot. Otherwise, you would wait. This is a fear move. This is a I'm just gonna get it in and hope you don't get involved. The problem is that this is pretty like the opposite effect. Margot now is gonna have to get involved because you've got no intrigues, nothing left, and she knows she can beat with Highline, and she can't really let you win this. I guess I don't know. It's all weird. Anyways, Shadam's just gonna get dudes in. There's not really much else for Shadam to do except get whatever supplies they physically can here. And Muad'Dib, I think, can just go deliver supplies and just wins the game, right? Right? I mean, Margot's the only other person to act. I guess if she's ever going... She's just highlining, right? You gotta go. Just go deliver supplies, get the point. Yeah. And I think Muad'Dib just wins. I think it's over. I don't think he's going to be catchable here anymore. Sneaks in a bit under the hood. But I think that's just it. Unless something crazy happens with intrigues, it looks like Yellow's just going to win this now. And they're through to the quarterfinals. It's matches won and then average points. Unless you're talking about this game, which you know what this game is. I assume you mean the competition as a whole, right?
Yeah. So
yeah, it's average points. So good luck with trying to work that out. Yeah. So clarification here. If somehow average points was tied, which has happened before, then it goes to resources.
Right now, didn't you?
Then it goes to resources over the course of the competition. So he's literally got the table up. He's trying to work out the situation here. Basically, what Blue's trying to work out is if they get third and Coyote gets second, they're tied on points, and Coyote is only a couple of points behind. But the problem is that none of them are getting to 14 anyway, so they wouldn't match. They'd be tied between third and fourth. So game has to get at least second place. Coyote just has to win. So he's trying to look at the tiebreakers, but I don't think it's that relevant here. Margot's bigger problem is the fact that she does not have Spice Must Flow. And I don't think she can get it. So it's So Margot's just trying to work out what to do here. I think Margot just has to high line, but then she can't. She never got the worm in. No, I think the problem is Margot committed herself to finding Spiceless Flow and has completely whiffed the draw. So the problem is Margot, I don't think she can score anymore. I mean, the truth is that, like, Shadam and Muad'Dib... Oh my god, wait on a second. Is Shadam still on the endgame point, though? Is Muad'Dib gonna lose this on Spice tiebreaks? He never got dudes in. Oh, he's still got an action, though. And he's got spies. He might Spice tiebreak this. It's very close. But anyways, I don't think there's much Blue can do here. Blue's just got to get stuck in. So, yeah, Margot's trying to work out, do they actually want the Spice? Is that better for tiebreakers? I think they're going to just gamble at Assembly Hall and hope to fluke a point. And that is not helping. That is a brick. That is full of mortar and granite. And Gurney Halleck is actually going to win this conflict, which is pretty impressive. I didn't actually expect him to win this, but looks like he's going to. So Spice Must Flow. He's only going to get to 9 points, sadly. think the big turning point in this game definitely was earlier on when they could have gone Deep Desert. They turned it down for shipping. I think they might look back at this game and maybe feel that perhaps that wasn't the right move. It was a massive boon to Muad'Dib, who, if they're not going to win this match, they're going to feel that they're pretty likely to get there. Margot was also looking for secure spots, just an intrigue to find a point. They just missed everything, so it's Shadam's sitting on a point, but Muad'Dib's just going to get some dudes in and surely just grab some spice. He gets a worm in as well as a Brucey bonus. No one went to hack a base in. It's pretty absurd. I don't think Muad'Dib can... It's going to come down to spice tiebreak, which he's going to beat here, so I think it's pretty much over at this point, but we'll see. Anyways, so Margot completely whiffs it. They tried. It's the way it goes down sometimes. You just miss it. Muad'Dib's going to get 6. They will be using Find Weakness, and they're going to get second place. I don't think that can be stopped. So they're going to get some end games here, but I don't think there's anything they can match. Because both Desert Mount and Chris Knife are already in the discard pile, so they can't match any of their symbols. Gurney's going to finish on 9. So is Margot. Looks like I think Blue's going to finish on 3rd. And I don't think there's anything Muad'Dib can do to either win this fight. Well, there it is. Bit late, unfortunately. There it is. Regret. So, assumably Muad'Dib is going to play Find Weakness and he's going to win this match on Spice Tiebreak. Shadam's got 1 point, but it's not enough for him. It means that Yellow is going to go through the quarterfinals. And it means that Benito Max is going to hold on to 2nd spot. Kind of defying the odds here. It was not likely he was going to hold on here, but it has been some turn of events. I don't think... Yeah, Muad'Dib's going to get the 6 spice, so that'll be good for the win here. Coyote did their damnedest, but couldn't force a victory. Nothing for Muad'Dib. It doesn't really matter. That's all she wrote here. So Muad'Dib wins it. Shadam 2nd. Margot 3rd. And Gurney 4th place. So confirmation then of the final tables of the group. Total does indeed top it with 18 points, winning in this match here. And somehow Benito holds on for 2nd place. Kind of a bit crazy, really. The odds were that he was going to drop out of the top 2, but unfortunately Game and Coyote unable to drive any kind of advantage on this, and will have to settle for a wildcard matchup. Damon, of course, does indeed still hold on regardless. But other than that, that's going to pretty much do it here for this one. So thank you much for watching, as per always. This is a bit of a longer video, but some of these games sometimes they're a bit more methodical, and that's just the way they go down sometimes. I think they definitely make for different experiences. Take care of yourselves, everyone. We'll see you in the next conflict.